like he was like, I'm not, Danny Hernandez. I'm 6'9". So that's how he got out of jail. Oh,
see,
we're live. What's up, Ian?
Yeah, we're live, Johnny. So I mean, it's okay if you're offering 6'9" defense, things. It's cool. I don't think the dude watches my channel, so we're fine. You're good.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm just going off of what they said in court. So,
things. It's cool. I can tell you this much: watching 6'9" on that stand, I learned one thing very quickly. He was not born and raised in New Jersey. That boy was not from Jersey, because the honor code, don't talk, all those things did not exist in that man. They were not.
You know what though? Like he wasn't the first one to snitch and stuff like that. So like, I mean, there was a lot of things that like they did to him that he kind of like was like, all right, if this is how y'all gonna be, then gloves off, and that's how he did it. I mean, that's I don't know the guy, but I'm just saying that's.
All right. Well, on that note, Meet Your Maker is back, boys and girls. Thank you for coming in. I have two of my best friends in the community, honestly, and Jonnie Grooms and Barbado Joe, the beer therapy crew, are here with me. There's no shaman in the building. I'm sorry to disappoint on that one, guys. That's a therapy special. It's not going to happen here. I don't know what else to tell you. You know what I mean? But Joe is here, and Joe very rarely disappoints when he's on screen. I'm just saying. He's always a good time. How are you, gentlemen, this fine evening, now that Johnny's done talking about Tekashi 6ix9ine and his legal troubles?
I'm good. A little tired, but good.
I'm all right. I'm good.
Yeah.
Same.
I was tired after last night. I was falling asleep. I'm like, and then I'm going to get on Joe's live, and then when I'm done, I'm just going to be amped and not be able to go to sleep tonight. So it's a good thing tomorrow's Friday. Yeah. That's what happens, man. Have you noticed it, Johnny? If we have a good show, or if you're on a good show, like on the screen,
yeah,
it's like the natural endorphins rush for a little while. And it's hard to come down off of that. It's really cool, unless you want to go to sleep.
Oh, well, you can see it with Johnny, though, sometimes, because I can tell, like, when we're doing a reviewer's table or something and we're having a good run, and then, like, Prack will be like, all right, well, we're going to get ready to wrap this up. You can see Johnny's face be like, we're going to do what? Like, wait, why are we wrapping it up? Let's do an after dark, and we can sit on my channel till 4 a.m. It's fine. Let's go.
Yes.
Words to never trust from Jonnie Grooms are, come on my channel for a little while. It'll just be for like an hour or so. Never trust those words from Jonnie Grooms. It's never just an hour, I promise you. Ever. Ever. The therapy crew once said to me, come on, it won't be long. We'll just do a normal, 2-hour show. I was on till 5 a.m. with the beer therapy crew. It happened.
That was early COVID, wasn't it? Wasn't that early COVID?
That was, I think it was very early COVID.
Yeah.
Like very early COVID. We're talking.
We didn't care.
I'm going to do it the next day. So
that night too was hilarious because it was Joe saying, "Hey JG, man, it's like 2 a.m. What do you say? Like another half hour and we'll get off." 3 a.m. comes, another half hour. I was like,
the good old days.
Hey man, listen. The crazy part was people were watching us the whole way through.
I know,
the whole way.
Yeah, I don't know why.
I know.
I mean, hey, I'm grateful, but
yeah,
it's funny to me.
Like Johnny says, he's grateful for if it's 2 or 3 or 4 viewers on his gaming channel. That's how I got to really know Ripken, whose name Eric Kennedy. Rob. He would always be there. Like we would see, there's like 5 people in the chat, and one of them was me because I was so it was like 4-3. But no one was talking. I'm like, did they fall asleep or whatever? And Eric would be like, no, I'm still here. I'm like, at 2:59, check. Hey, quick thing I have to do since I publicly berated Rob's dementia, early onset dementia last night. And it was actually my early onset dementia I need to talk about. I told everyone at therapy last night that Rob is on next week, and then I busted his balls. He's actually on in 2 weeks. So it was my
no.
It was my mistake. So I got to own up. I called him old man. I'm still the old man. Russ Young, I would love for you to be there, my man. When you get over there, it would be great to see you check out some True Detective.
What's going on, Russ? How you doing? What's going on, everyone? What's up, Pete? How you doing tonight, brother? So, this week's Meet Your Maker is just me and my buddies. Like, I just wanted to have some friends on, have a good time. And these guys have had me on their channel more times than I can count, honestly. I think I've been on therapy 3 or 4 times at this point. So I figured it was time, I'll bring them on my channel. And now Jonnie can't get mad when I say, well, I got to go. My headphones are dying. It's my channel. I wrap up my show when I want, Jonnie. That's the way it works around here.
Right.
That's the way it works, brother. So when did you guys both get started in this world? Individually, not together. When did Barbado Joe turn up on the scene?
January 29th or so. Late January 20 was my first video of 2019. My first introducing myself. This is the vision of my channel.
Was Jonnie around yet, or did Jonnie come along later?
Rob Acker on the old panel thing that we had called the Bearded Roundtable. Rob Acker, who was remember, it was 4 aces and a jester, and Rob was our 5th ace. He chimed in one night from the gas station where his wife works at. His wife's a regional manager of these Quickie Mart kind of things. And he said, hey, there's 2 new guys you guys need to be checking out. You need to check out this guy named, I forget what his name was way back when, but My Cribs. You need to check out Beard Swag, and you need to check out this Jonnie Grooms dude. And Jonnie Grooms was coming to Bearded Roundtable. I had seen him in the chat before. Yeah. So I know Jonnie was right around the same time, but I didn't know of Jonnie until Rob Acker said, you need to check this dude out.
Oh, wow, Jonnie. So how'd that feel, having Rob up there singing your praises?
It was it was weird at first because that's like the first time anything came up of YouTube where someone acknowledged my existence,
Right.
So I was like, oh, it's cool. And I looked at my wife. I said, look, they're talking about me. Like somebody knows me. It's amazing. Because before that I was just doing videos and I was just putting them out there. And my Instagram wasn't really geared towards the Jonnie Grooms thing. It still was my personal one. But then it was a very weird feeling, to have that kind of recognition like that.
Right. Yeah, no, I know what you mean. I remember being at that stage when you didn't think anybody else knew who the hell you were yet. And then all of a sudden, one of the other channels acknowledges you and you're like, hey, look, that guy, you see that? You're showing your whole family. Look, he talked about my video. That guy right there.
That's my name.
That's my name. That's not some other Joe. He's talking about this Joe. That's right. But, so where did the therapy come from? How did you two find each other? Because I got to tell you, I don't think there's a better duo on a live stream than used to. That's just my opinion, though.
Thank you, man.
Honestly, I think you guys play off each other perfectly. Absolutely perfectly.
Here's where therapy came from. I'll try and make this quick. No one was doing a panel. No one. I think maybe it had been done once or twice. I think maybe in the for lack of a better term, the black section of the community, they had a panel like discussion, but no one was really doing. In fact, very few people were doing lives at that time. Lone Bear Beard did a release of a set where they got a bunch of people in, and I was hanging out, and then we went like 5 hours afterwards after we went off the air, long after Keith passed out from drinking, and we were hanging out with his wife. They're the co-owners, and I was sitting there going, this would be a good idea. So I got together with this dude named Javier Sotelo, and I said, let's do a panel thing. So we did that for the spring and summer, and then it just kind of ended. And I said, this panel idea has legs. And after summer vacation and everything, I was like, who would I want to do this with? And initially I went to Beer Times with Scott, just talking to him about, I want to redo, a round table. He's like, well, I hope he'll include me on it. And after a bunch of, back and forth, how are we going to do it? What are we going to do? The guy I settled on for sure as being regular was Jonnie Grooms. And Jonnie was down, and the format just became what the format has become as a result.
I got to tell you, I think Jonnie is the most game individual in this community. You can hit up Jonnie and say, dude, I want to do a live stream talking about Teletubbies. And Jonnie will be like, I have no idea what we're talking about, but sure, I'll come on the screen. Why not? He doesn't care. He does not care.
I don't know. Tinky Winky, Lala, Poe. Come on, I know Teletubbies.
Damn straight.
Yeah, I forgot. Johnny's got kids. Never mind. That was a bad example.
There's a Dipsy in there too, I think. Yeah.
Well, that's so true. Like last night, I had been working on last night since since that dude hit the airwaves. And I said, Jonnie, I want to do this. And he's like, okay. And then we just went over the game plan in the green room, how it was going to work, et cetera, et cetera. At no point was he like, are you sure, Joe? Or Joe, this might be controversial. He's like, yeah, okay, fuck it, let's do it. And it's been like that no matter what I've thrown out there. All the ideas haven't necessarily worked, but he's always game to give it a shot.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think the way Jonnie looks at things is we won't know if something works until we try it.
Right.
So, until we try it and just put it out there, and then if it doesn't work, Jonnie just, all right, well, whatever, it didn't work. What else? All right, so Joe idea number 45 didn't work. Let's try number 46, Joe. What do you got?
Right.
Yeah. That's just the way Jonnie seems to roll with things, but that's why I think you guys work so well off each other, honestly. And the best moments, though, for me at least, is when Barbado Joe is doing everything he can to bring out the angry Jonnie Grooms. He's poking Jonnie at every second, trying to get that reaction out of because angry Jonnie is, I'm sorry, dude, it's the next level. It's absolutely amazing when you're pissed off, Jonnie. Sorry, I don't know what else to tell you, but when you're angry, it's funny.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that, Joe, because we don't like face chat. I know a lot of guys face chat. We don't do any of that. We'll DM sporadically, depending on the week. But we've been doing this long enough that we'll just like get in. But Jonnie will when we're in the green room, he'll vent for like 5 or 10 minutes. Like, what's fuck? And when he does that and he drops that in my lap right before an episode, you know how hard it is not to just I know these are for Joe's ears only, so I can't. But it's just like I see an opening and I'm like, nah, God dang it. Yeah, so you're right. I do try and suck that out of Jonnie whenever I can.
Because I'm sorry, man, Jonnie. But see, Jonnie, you've done this to yourself a little bit because you even did a few grind my gears things and, like little episodic things where you're like, well, what pisses me off? Here it is. Yeah, so now everyone's waiting on those things, Jonnie.
Oh, well, I don't know. It's hard because like I have to be in the moment, when I do one of those because I can't just like turn it on and do it. I have to be actively pissed off to do that. So a lot of the times when I get angry, I don't think to take out the phone and start recording, But it was easier to do it. It was easier to do it on the school bus because like I was already driving, and it was like just hit the button to record and I could just go off, and like I was still actively pissed. I wasn't calmed down because usually I would have to park the bus then walk all the way to the office, and that walk would calm me down enough to deal with parents over the phone. So before I took that walk, I started recording, and then so you got real emotion there.
By the way, Jonnie, you did not help my vision of my bus drivers when I was a kid seeing you, because in my eyes, my bus driver was the angriest, nastiest man that ever lived. And then here's Jonnie on the bus complaining about everything under the sun. And I was like, well, see, I was right. My bus driver probably was the angriest guy on the planet. Look at Jonnie.
Yeah.
I'll tell you one thing, though. As a school bus driver, right? When you actively have the kids on the bus, they become your kids. Yep. Even though they're not like biologically your kids, but they're your kids. So like if we get into an accident, you got to look, you get, oh my God, my kids. That's the first thing you think of. Oh my God, my kids. Or as you're driving, to be safe and everything like that. It's when they're off the bus that you can like, God, it's just flipping out and everything like that. But when they're on the bus, they're like your kids, So you have to see it, and that way you put that extra like attention and care in and stuff like that. Especially if you see a kid who looks like he's having a hard time or whatever, you tell him good morning. You ask him, hey, are you okay? And send him on his way. But when they're off the bus, that's a different animal.
Yeah, there's similar connection to that, Joe, and that I hate when people want to bust teachers' asses. So I just want to say this once to whoever many people are watching. There's no contract I've seen from any teacher that says, hey, if an invading person with an armed weapon comes into your building, you are duty bound to protect. We're paying you to protect those kids. That language doesn't exist, but you'll be hard pressed to find a teacher who wouldn't think that way, no matter the age of the kids, whatever the circumstance is. Those kids are your kids. If a tornado hits, if someone comes in, or if it's a normal day, and it's the same thing like Jonnie said with the bus drivers. That's a huge responsibility driving that big old thing in bad weather. things happen. You hear about bus crashes every once in a while, and I always take note of them because I know those bus drivers, even if they are like, you know, Joe, your image of a bus driver, he may be that on the outside, but on the inside, he knows he's got to take care of these kids.
Yeah.
Oh no! Listen, I was in one of those bus accidents when I was a kid. Actually, it was a snow day, and the buses came early to get us out of school, pretty much. And I don't think my driver did anything wrong. Honestly, I think the truck just slid out from underneath him, pretty much. I don't think there was anything he could have done to avoid it. And we did. It wasn't horrible. We just kind of bounced off of a car and then came to a stop. But his first action was to jump out and go running down the back of the bus to check on every single kid one by one.
Yeah.
He didn't get out to look at the bus first. He checked us. So I get it. To me, though, he was just as angry as could be. And in my eyes, at that age, you know, 10, 11 years old, I didn't know. I just thought he was angry because he was getting paid horribly to drive a bus with a bunch of us annoying kids on it. That was the way I looked at it.
Right.
Now I know that it's just kind of a requiem for drivers that apparently you just got to be an angry guy. Because Jonnie was one too.
You got to have this face on too, because you also have to keep him in control too. You know, you have to you got to give him like, oh shit, I should probably scream right now or get out of my seat because this guy may kill me. So like, but you know, it's that fine line of like care and fear. You know.
But one of my favorite thing about the therapy thing is this, and it might be weird, but you guys are complete and polar opposites on your individual channels. Your channels come nowhere near close to each other's. But then when you guys hit therapy, it's like you're just this perfect cohesive unit, which you wouldn't expect from two polar opposite channels. I mean, Joe does the film bits and the 2 Cups of Joe. By the way, yeah, that was a cheap plug. Sorry, I don't know what else to tell you. That's that's what it was, though. Okay, and he does the UBA, which is amazing. And then Johnny's out there, you know, putting up blood to the gods to make sure we're all happy every damn 5 minutes. I just think it's really cool the way you two are very different, but on therapy, you just seem to fit perfectly together.
JG, what do you attribute that to? I know I have a theory. What do you attribute it to?
I don't know. It's just I guess it's the whole just the beard care link, I guess. I don't know. And then I in that, and also like, you know, I've been on the show with Joe for over a year, so like it's like a relationship, you know, like it's like talking to your friend, like, you know, once a week over a Zoom call or whatever, you know. It's like, yeah.
What was I going to say? 2 things I think that I noticed in Jonnie and I that really make therapy work. One is, we when we set out with the show, we said we want to provide a place that's got what a lot of the other lives have, but also is a place where you can all just hang out and let loose, right? And that's always been the guiding vision. So we're not hung up on giveaways and even having guests. We just do it because it's what we do. So that's one thing, because we're both very true to that vision. And the other thing is we have senses of humor that just don't give a fuck, right? We want to come out, we want to laugh. And if that means Johnny's going to show animals being slaughtered because people are busting his balls for being a vegan, that's what Johnny's going to fucking do. If that means, you know, I'm going to come out there and you know, rant about holidays because you guys are firing me up, that's what's going to happen. And it's that we trust each other enough, Joe, to not try and put any kind of shackles on each other, because we know if it goes down the drain, we'll just huddle back up and reset. You know, it's just that simple.
Yeah. Yeah.
So has there been any time, though, Jonnie or Joe, either one of you, where the other one has done something that you've sat there and went, oh, shit, I think you might have just went too far? But, like, to yourselves, you didn't say it out in public to everyone else, because that's not the way friends do it. You say it privately to each other. Not publicly.
Like too far in the show?
Yeah. Too far in the show or too far anything, really, because the way I look at it, you guys are friends. So, like, for example here, if my friend goes out in public and does something stupid, I'm not going to publicly say something about it, but privately I might snatch him up and be like, what the hell's wrong with you?
Oh, no, I don't think, I don't, no. If I see my friend acting stupid, I'm just gonna be like, I'm just gonna make sure he doesn't get arrested.
Yeah.
I had a real life because it happened to me. I was in a limo and I really had to go to the bathroom. So, and this is where I kind of like I got that whole like thought process from, because this is the first time someone's ever done this for me, and I'm like, that's the way I'm gonna be. I really had to go to the bathroom, so I'm in this limo, and I see that traffic is building up, and we're about to come to a stop. So I figured I can make it. Like I can jump out of this limo and go pee on the side of a building or something. So I swing the door open while the limo's still rolling, and I get out. I like catch myself, and I jet across. I was in AC, so I forgot what road I was on. But I jet across like 2 lanes of traffic, and because I had to go, I'm not gonna piss my pants. I'm wearing a suit, like I'm all dressed up and everything like that. And but here comes my buddy out of nowhere. He was right behind me. And he's like, John. I said, I gotta go. And I start peeing against the wall. And then he's like, all right, I'm gonna stand here. I'm gonna pee with you just in case you get arrested. At least you're not gonna go to jail alone. I was like, cool, man. And then he's like, look, there's cops like right there. And I'm like, there is cops right there. And I start shaking him. I was like, we gotta go. And I ran back into the limo. The limo was at the red light. We just jumped in.
2 questions. Where did this take place? Like, just roughly whereabouts? Like in Jersey, New York? Where were you?
This is an AC.
AC. Okay. Yeah. Number 2, was your friend from Jersey as well?
Yeah.
All right, then the story makes perfect sense to me. Absolute perfect sense to me. That's exactly how we roll. Well, if you're going to jail tonight, well, then I'm going to do it too. That way you're not going to jail alone. I'm going to be hanging out with you for the night. We'll figure it out after that.
Yeah.
That's just the way it works around here.
And similar thing happened to me when I bought this house that I'm in. We were doing repairs, and a buddy of mine again came with me, and we were doing the light sockets and stuff like that. And we had a couple beers, and then like it was time to drive home. We didn't get totally trashed where like we couldn't drive, but like we just had a few. And then I was like, "Hey, you want to race back to Piscataway from Manville? It's like a 20-minute drive. Let's see who makes it there first, right?" So he's in a what is it? He's in a Grand Prix or something like that. I think it was a Grand Prix, a 2-door like V8, right? And I'm in the mom special, fucking like small SUV, right, with the car seats in the back, like douchebag. So like I'm like, let's fucking go, man, let's go. So like we get off the on ramp to get onto 287, and I just jet, boom, 70 miles an hour, right? And I'm going, and all of a sudden he passes me, but like crazy. He must have been going like 90 miles an hour, but sure as shit, he got pulled over like that. So, and I just kept driving.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So I went to his mom's house because he still lived at home and stuff. And so I went to his house, and I was gonna meet him there after he got his ticket and be like, yo, and just trying to comfort my buddy, but I didn't know they arrested him. Like they took him in, and the cop was good. He let him drive the car off of 287 to get a proper tow and stuff like that, because those kind of highways you have to get like a special tow. And it's stupid. Yep. But anyway, but he calls me at like 3 a.m. He's like, I'm in jail, and I'm like, do you need me to get you? He's like, yeah, and I was like, I'm on my way. Poof. I jumped out. I said, I told my wife at the time. I said, oh, I got to go get Eric out of jail. She's like, what? And I said, yeah, I'll be right back. And I hopped in the car, picked his ass up, brought him home. Yeah, that was it.
What's sad is that I think every one of us from Jersey has a story very similar to that. I think we've all got moments like, I mean, I don't know if Barbado Joe's not far from us. Joe might have moments like that in his past. I
didn't grow up here. I grew up in Cali.
Oh, you probably had a boring childhood. No. Actually, I don't know that. I've only been in Jersey my whole life. This is the only lifestyle I know. This is it. So to me, our life is perfectly normal. My buddies were getting arrested the one night. I pulled up my car next to theirs, got out of the car, and the cop said, "What are you doing?" I said, "Well, if they're going, I'm going. So whatever they did, I was with them. Let's go." And that's the way we thought, though. That was the way we were raised. I don't know if that was right or not, but that's the way we were raised. Now, hearing Johnny's story, it sounds like Johnny might have been raised a little bit differently. He might have just kept driving and then come and picked us all up later. Like, why didn't you guys just keep driving? What'd you guys stop for?
I thought he was gonna get a regular ticket. I was like, damn. But I didn't know they were going to take him in. He must have been going 100 miles an hour. I forget his exact speed, but it was definitely up there because they wouldn't just take him in just for,
It's a certain mile per hour in Jersey over that limit that they get you for. Yeah. Yeah, I found that out.
I don't even know why he was going that hard. I'm in a freaking mini SUV. You're in a V8. Like, what the hell? Like...
Because you got a V8 for a reason. You may as well use it.
Yeah.
Say, like, come on. You're definitely going to win. Like, I was only half kidding. You know me, you're taking it seriously. It's all right, whatever.
I think the better question is who decides to race somebody in the Soccer Mom special exactly? Who does that? Yeah, Jonnie Grooms. That's who. There it is. That's who. So how many versions of therapy has there been? Like, was this the format from the beginning? Did you guys just come out and say, this is what we're going to do, that's that? And if people like it, great. If not, worst comes to worst, it'll be me and Jonnie sitting here talking shit every Wednesday. Is that pretty much it, guys?
Okay. Yeah. I mean, yeah, like it started one way, right? And it kept going. It kept going. A few things have been tweaked, like because of like just over time, things get added. Especially like we'll react to the chat and the whole D930, the 930
Dude,
thing. That just happened like out of nowhere. Like,
right, but to me, that's the thing, though. That's what I love about what I've seen from therapy. Because again, I've been watching therapy since I came into the community. I think you guys might have gotten started actually just as I was coming into the community. And since I've been watching, I have watched as a small cult-like following has grew around therapy, almost to the point where wherever you guys go, no matter what channel it is, no matter what you're doing, certain members from that crew are going to be in your chat representing for the therapy family. And I think it's amazing. I really do.
Yeah.
I've said it since the beginning. We may have had a small audience, but they're fucking loyal, man. They are just loyal. And guys we've had since day one or the second show or third show are still showing up, and it is amazing. And you get you get a culture, you get a language. That's all the shows. You get not only inside jokes but slang and you just get all these markers of just a night out with the boys at a virtual bar. Bring your own kind of thing. That's what it's all about. The beard stuff is there, but really to me it's become kind of secondary because you can get that just about anywhere. It's all the other stuff that happens as a result of it being therapy, that if the therapy is enjoyed by someone, it's usually because of that.
But to me, I think therapy has taken on the actual meaning of the word more recently as COVID has become more real for everybody and as things have become a lot more locked down and stuff. For a lot of us, therapy has kind of become our hangout spot. It's where we can go meet up with all the guys, have a few drinks, and treat it like our own personal bar, basically. And I think it's something that we all sorely needed and didn't even realize it at the time.
Yeah. I mean, I think a lot of us who had channels or who have channels, we have to maintain this sort of professional decorum on the channel. That's another thing from the get-go. Jonnie and I didn't care if this channel got monetized, so we weren't going to put on any censors whatsoever with language, content, any of that stuff. Because let's be honest, if you just want to hang out with the dudes and some guy drops a fuck and everyone goes, well, how genuine is that? We have to model it as the hosts, let everyone know what the theme is going to be, what the environment's going to be. And everyone, I think a lot of people hanker for that kind of, like you said, hey, Gary Lewis, hanker for that kind of environment. Because like I said, there are a lot of chats out there where, we are an acquired taste, and the people who want that taste have found their way. But I'm over the top. JG, when he gets fired up, he's over the top. Maybe people don't like us. Maybe we take things too far. I don't know. We'll take our loyal crew. I love them. I love them to death.
I think it's amazing. I honestly do, because I know for a fact, regardless of whether there's more people watching, there's never going to be less people watching therapy. You guys have set that line. Those guys are going to be there every week. And it's almost like I watch and you'll see guys show up like maybe 10 minutes late for the show and they're actually apologizing to Joe and Jonnie. They're like, Man, I'm so sorry I didn't make it on time. I missed the first 10 minutes of therapy. Anything amazing happen?
That's nice that's out there.
But you guys have set a high bar for yourselves. Like, you really have. You got to keep bringing the entertainment now. Like,
I guess. I mean, I always feel a little pressure with Dirty 930 just because it came about organically and now it feels like a thing. Every time we're in there, someone in the chat's going like, you can see them, shit, it's almost Dirty 930. And I've said it out loud a couple times. I'm like, what does that even mean anymore, Jonnie? Because, you know, at one point when we were a little more professional, maybe earlier on, and we had guests and we had company owners, we had sort of set up that 8:30 to 9:30 was professional time and 9:30 to 10:30 was balls to the walls time. And that has gotten a little more gray and wishy-washy time-wise, you know. Yeah. We try and adhere to it, but it's not like Jonnie and I have a bag of tricks that once 9:30 comes on, it's just like, boom, there you go. Yeah, whatever happens, happens. Because I think anything staged outside of like what went on last night and that we knew that there was something going to happen, but everything has to, I think, really be natural, and it's all based off the interaction with the audience.
Well, to me, the way I always took it was, and maybe this is the way you guys intended it originally, was if you were going to have a company on and they had like a thing about the over-the-top stuff and they didn't want to, then 8:30 to 9:30 they would be on. And at 9:30, you guys would be like, listen, guys, thanks for coming on. Great having you on. But shit's about to get real around here. So if you want to get the hell out of here, now's the time, basically. Yeah. And that was that. That was the way I always saw it. But again, I don't think you guys really created that. I think your crowd created that. Yeah. They developed the Dirty 930 thing. They developed, and that's why I mean, like, therapy is becoming its own entity out there. And I still think the day will come where Jonnie Grooms and Barbado Joe are syndicated nationwide. God help us all. And we're going to have beer therapy across the board. It's going to be everywhere for the world. Even though it is now, all they got to do is subscribe, but still. Right. Yeah. You're going to have like NBC pushing out beer therapy and the Dirty 930 crew. I think it's coming one day.
We couldn't do this show the way it is now on TV.
No.
If we get banned.
This is the perfect environment.
What's TV anymore? What's TV anymore? Honestly, TV's pretty much dead at this point. I mean, do you watch any actual TV shows at the time they air anymore?
No, I binge watch shows on like Netflix and stuff. That's pretty much it when it comes to shows.
I'm sorry, Joe. Go ahead.
They just
Gary Lewis, I thought, had a good comment.
What was that? What was that? I'm sorry, y'all keeping me awake. Just
one more above it. It's a longer comment. It's a longer comment. Oh, I don't like it, but it's very truthful. I would like to
get the vanilla. Yeah. Okay.
Sometimes.
So, you know, I would like to do 52 shows a year where everyone had a memory, you know, that they all, because, you know, literally last night, my costuming was the price of a combo. And I went, do I want to spend that on one more freaking combo out of the millions that I have, or do I want to do it to give 20, 30 guys a memory and a good time? And it's a no-brainer at that point, right? And I wish I could do that. I wish we could do that every week, you know, that we had an idea that, but you just don't. It's unrealistic to think about. It's rare that we come up with something planned like that. Very, very rare. Luckily, the interaction with the audience gives us, on most weeks, opportunities for little bits of that.
Well, I think the other problem is, too, like you said, you hope every week you're going to put on a good show and you're going to entertain people and you're going to have fun. But some weeks, unfortunately, it's a live show. So some weeks you're not on your game. You're just not feeling it the way you were last week. And it could even be that the crowd's just not as into it as they were last week. They're not throwing comments out as much for you to feed off of. So we try our best. Some weeks it's not going to come out as well as we would like, but that's the beauty about doing a weekly show, is that next week you get to swing all over again and hope that you hit it again this time.
I will say this, if I'm being 100% honest, and I always like to be. I'm far less willing to take a risk on a guest, be it a community member or an owner, if they cannot use their mouth on this in this domain. You know, because we have had some guests where it was just silence. And the whole reason you're here is to interact with us. Otherwise, if it's 3 of us, well, now you've cut us by a third. If it's 4 of us, now you've cut us by 25%. And maybe I could have had someone else on here who would have interacted. We said from the beginning, we were the community's live. We would put anybody up on the screen. It didn't matter who you are. It was the community's live stream. But you got to be able to interact once you get here. So for me, at least, and I'm thinking about guests in the future, whether it's return guests or new guests, I'm thinking about that. Have I seen them in other lives and seen them be able to do that? Because if I haven't, I'm more reticent to put them out there.
I got to tell you, my favorite therapy moment still, though, to this day, for me at least, this is my personal one that I was part of, was the first time I was ever on with Sam. Me and Sam come into the green room, and Joe acknowledges Sam and says to her, listen, we know you're here, so Barbado Joe's going to try and be a good guy tonight. I'm going to try and do my best for you. And my daughter looks back at him and goes, I live with my dad. You're fine. And I was like, oh, man, that's not Sam. Don't say that. That doesn't make me look good. That doesn't make me look good.
2 things in the chat. Rob, you will never forget the Abe Lincoln. That's the whole reason. Of all the things the shaman could have imparted last night, that's the reason he imparted that one. That was purposeful. Hello, Kim. Hey, Captain Stash, Gary Lewis. It's also rare that Joe lets Johnny talk, and he said something else. He was the worst guest. No, you were a good guest on therapy. In fact, if you don't forget, Gary, the first time you were on therapy, you and I still didn't see eye to eye, and it was your time on therapy that made me go, as much as I don't want to admit it, this guy's fucking intriguing, so.
See, but that's the other thing I like about therapy, too, is that when you guys have seemed to have issues, or whatever it might be, you've said, come on, therapy. Come on, let's go. Whoever it is, and we'll air it out. We'll air out our differences, and that's that.
Johnny still hasn't gotten his Dr. Phil moment. He's always wanted it. I call it his Dr. Phil moment, but that's been a big deal of his. He wants to be that mender or that what do you call it? Someone who arbitrator. He wanted to use therapy as a platform for that, for sure.
Oh, Johnny, just remember, Dr. Phil moments can sometimes turn into oh shit moments, and they can go bad really fast. Just saying. All right, trust me, they can go bad in a hurry, Johnny. So don't reach for the Dr. Phil moments. Let them happen on their own.
Yeah, let's see. I always say that there's always we can always dedicate 20 minutes or 10 to 20 minutes of beer therapy to parties that want to hash out their issues, and I would probably let I would think about it now. I would turn the chat off and then let them work it out, talk, and that way there's no outside interference, and they could just talk it out, and that's it. And then whatever comes to at the end of that, that's it. And if but it's a very rare, it's a very hard thing to actually pull off, because not a lot of people want to do that. So, and I don't readily remind. I don't throw it out there to say, hey, come do this here or whatever. I don't, but there is that's in there. That's worked into the show if ever, anybody wants to ever do that.
Mm-hmm. And I think therapy would be the right place for that in most circumstances, because you'd have 2 guys running the show that could honestly they would be like, oh, okay, whatever. You guys are here to work it out. And Johnny intimidates most people just by looking at him. So I don't see anybody jumping out of line on therapy. Johnny's just intimidating to begin with. So I think if anybody can straighten people out most of the time, it's Johnny. You never hear anybody in this community talk bad about Johnny Grooms. Name the last time you heard it.
Well, it's because he's a good guy. For
the most part. Yeah. But I'd say 90% of that is he's a good guy. Absolutely. The other 10% is absolute and utter fear, is what I will say. The other 10% of that is absolute and utter fear from when they've seen Johnny flip out on other things. They already know that that's awaiting them if they piss Johnny off, and they don't want to go that road. They don't want to do it with Johnny.
Uh-huh.
Joe, I'm getting my balls busted by a few different people in the chat, and since you brought it up, here's something. I had that idea for the for these in-depth interviews with creators or owners. And when we did the first one, I realized after we did it that the format for that is not best suited for a two-man show. And we could have done the workaround, and Jonnie was going to create questions and stuff. And so we audibled and we thought of a way to do it. But the more I thought about it, I was like, nah, I just don't know that this is the place for that. I could always do that another time, another place if I wanted to. The idea is that we do stuff together. So that's something that that we have gotten rid of. I told Jonnie, I'm like, yeah, their ideas come. There'll be another one that comes down the road. It's fine. So that's something that we didn't disagree upon, but we realized that was an experiment that didn't quite work the way I wished it had. And so we just got rid of it. No harm, no foul.
Yeah.
No, yeah. I mean, you tried, like I said, that's the thing that I think works so well about you guys is that either one of you throws out the idea, the other one's like, yeah, whatever, we can try it. And if it doesn't work, well, whatever. Ideas come and go. We'll try another one down the road and see how it works. That's that.
Right.
Yeah.
I like the therapy theme episodes personally because I am a huge wrestling fan. So when you guys did the wrestling episodes, I loved it because it showed me how many other wrestling nerds there were in our little community. And I was like, absolutely, that's awesome. But I also love the fact that Barbado Joe has been responsible for some of the greatest hashtags ever created for me, as in hashtag who's Nick and hashtag fuck Nick. I love the fact that they happened, and I love the fact that they were against my little brother. I mean, as a big brother, that's what you want. You want somebody to roast your little brother to verify the way you feel about him. But more than that, it was like Joe was venting my own frustrations in those moments where, yeah, it's supposed to be the Bearded Brothers, I thought, but I'm over here doing everything, and everybody's still talking about Nick. So Joe just started going with, who the hell's Nick? Who is Nick? I never seen Nick.
Yeah. Yeah, that's that organic stuff. And then I actually talked to Nick, and I started to feel bad. And then after a little while, I'm like, fuck feeling bad. Just keep dropping the F Nick. I was nice enough to change it from fuck Nick to F Nick. That's what I did. That was my meeting in the middle.
Okay, all right. That's a good one. That's a good compromise.
Yeah, that was Joe's I feel bad, so we'll drop the UCK and we'll just say F Nick. That's all.
Yeah.
We won't actually vocalize the whole thing. It'll just be F Nick.
I couldn't back down. That would be actually human of me, and I don't want to be human.
No. Come on, I thought it was all hilarious. And
yeah.
Like you said, but that's the organic stuff. It just happened. Yeah, I mean, I think that happened on a therapy the one night, or maybe it was in one of my live streams or something, where Joe was like, "Who the hell is Nick?" And I thought he was actually saying like he'd never seen a video with me and Nick before, and I'm like, "What the hell is he talking about? Who's Nick? You know who Nick is, Joe?" And Joe was like, "No, I don't know who the hell Nick is. He's never on a live. He never does any live streams with you. He only appears for video." And then it turned into like Nick was a plant by the government. I had people messaging me like, "Is your brother real?" And I'm like, "Wow, Barbado Joe did all of this. Real? This is amazing."
Oh shit, that's fun stuff.
I said, "Joe did all of this. Absolutely amazing.
Wow,
amazing."
See, that's the experience factor. That's that. But it came up organically. It's not like I said, "Hey Joe, here's an idea. Well, I'll create this hat." It's just shit that comes up on the spot. And one thing I've noticed too is as we've gone longer and people get my sense of humor, because it can be as abrasive as hell. I make sure that it used to be sometimes I would drink water on therapy. Now I'm always drinking water, because then from 8:30 to 9:30, by the time we hit dirty 9:30, I'm bubbling. I'm good to go. And any inhibitions I might have get loosed. And then sometimes I look the next day and go, shit, did I really say that? But it's just one of those things. It's never meant in spite. So
is that what happened with the vanilla flavored poop? Is that did you look back and say, why did I say that? Or do you still stand by that comment?
Oh, no. I totally stand. As long as it's my poop. It can't be anyone else's poop. If it's my poop.
I like how the question became a thing that now we have to ask everybody. Whose idea? Who's the first person to ask that question?
That is not mine.
I'm looking at the comments here. Who was
That is not mine.
Who is that?
No, that was not my question. I promise
No.
you. I'll take credit for a lot of things around here, but that one wasn't me either. So I have no
I think it was
idea.
a guest. I think it was a guest. I'm looking at the comments here.
It might have been a guest.
It was a guest. I know.
There are little moments though when we do things where I'm like, fuck yeah, another barrier canceled. And it's when we had that, and it was still a new question, and we asked it of Kyle and Joe, who we didn't really know, and who are just generally pretty nice dudes. And when that came out, I'm like, fuck yeah, we're not pulling any punches. We're gonna ask it of if Dan C comes on, not that he ever will, but I'll ask his ass. I'll make sure we'll have a couple other ones for Dan. Just you don't ever want to like pull the punches because that's what I think makes it fun is that risk factor. What's he going to say? What are they going to do next? Kind of thing.
Yeah. No. Like I said, I'll take credit for maybe the pineapple thing. I think me and Jonnie have started that whole anti-pineapple train. I think we were the ones heading it. But there's certain questions where I'm like, where did that even come from? How did that happen? And like Joe just said, I don't even think Joe knows where it came from, but it is now a thing.
In the chat, Joe, James Pershing is taking credit for it.
Oh, yeah. There he goes. Okay, so James is taking credit for it. There you go, James.
The ice cream question, yeah.
But that's, again, the organic things that grow on therapy because even your audience feels safe. They feel like they're in a place where they can bring up these questions. Most outlandish thing they can think of, they can throw it out there and they're not going to get judged in this place. It's cool. Yeah, they might get made fun of a little bit, but it's all in good fun. And I think that's amazing that you guys have created that kind of space.
Yep.
Pineapple is not good. You're so wrong, and I'll argue with you to the death. Sorry. I don't know what else to tell you.
I got to tell you my pineapple list, brothers. I'm an addict of this station called the Try Network, where it's Irish people trying all kinds of things. So there were 4 pairs of Irish men and women. They got given pineapple pizza. Firstly, they don't really have a lot of different pizza. They think Domino's is good in Ireland, okay? Because they don't have a lot of pizza. Yeah. So they were given some Papa John's with pineapple on it, and 7 of the 8 people were like, get that shit off the pizza. So these people without a taste for pizza, a true experience with pizza like you get in the United States saying, get that straight off the pizza. So I think we have international support in our pineapple-less pizza.
Dude, I have UFC former welterweight champion backing me up. I've got video footage that it doesn't belong there. I've got everything. All right. I've got all the evidence I need. I think Jonnie really got this train rolling, and I jumped on to help Jonnie out because I felt very passionate about the fact that you should not ruin pizza by putting pineapple on it. It's not okay. All right. But it is Johnny's fault that I had to live through a Friday night like that. It was all Johnny's fault. 100% Johnny's fault.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, Joe knows it.
Yeah.
I don't understand this.
I'm sorry. Did anybody else on that live that night sit there and go, Joe, really? You hate it that much? Joe, really? I don't get it, Joe. I don't understand, Joe. No, that was you, Jonnie. You did that.
Yeah.
It would have been done in 2 seconds if it wasn't for you.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Gary said something earlier in the chat too. The ball's on Gary. I think of all those of us who know said, the ball's on Gary. But one time I threw out, "Hey, any owner that wants to come on, come join us. We'd love to have you." And his ass signed up. And really, I should have said any owner but Chesapeake. I was like, I cannot believe this motherfucker signed up for our show. And I even said to Jonnie, are we going to do this show? And, Johnny's like, fuck yeah, we're going to do this show. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to treat him like any other owner. I'm going to be professional. Bygones will be bygones as far as for that hour or two that he was on there. And after having him on the space for a while, I'm like, this dude's got something. So I appreciated that he had the balls to sign up and not know what he was going into. And then I think, and I've told Gary this privately, but I think that was like the first inroad to us being able to handle our problems to now I'm a huge supporter of him and I really dig the dude, for all his cactus-like and abrasiveness. I see where it comes from. And no one has a bigger heart and is willing to give than Gary. And I know he gets a bad rap with that, like, oh, he does it. No. I've talked to the man privately on a lot of matters, and it comes deep from the heart when it comes to that charity stuff. So,
yeah,
I just
Don't be too nice to Gary. That's usually when you're too nice to Gary, that's when he throws out an asshole comment so that everybody doesn't think he's too nice. So be careful. Careful. He doesn't want people to think he's too nice.
Yeah, I know.
You got a rep to uphold.
You got to be careful with Gary. No, I'm the same way. I've known people like Gary my whole life, and that's why I think I adjust with Gary so well. He is the way he is, but there's nobody out there that would want to help someone more. And that's
right.
I think my father was the same way. He would cut your head off if you did something wrong, but he would give you the shirt off his back if it would help you in the same way. Just who he was.
And I think another thing, after getting to know Gary a little bit more in a group DM, is the one thing is he's not going to BS you. It took me back to one of my favorite quotes of all time. Malcolm X once said, "I respect a Klansman because at least he'll call me an N-word to my face.
Right.
What I don't respect is the white man who will call me an N-word behind my back." And that's Gary. I'm not saying you're a Klansman nor an N-word, but the idea is that Gary he will let you know exactly how he feels. He's not going to say it behind your back. He will come. I've seen him do it a million times in lives, and in situations where he's like, "This is how it is," and that can rub people the wrong way. And I get it. He too is an acquired taste.
Yeah, you might not always like what he says, but you have to give him the credit where it's due. He'll say it to your face. He's not going to go say it behind your back.
Yeah.
And again, the way I grew up was if you got something to say to somebody, be man enough to say it to their face at the very least. Don't go behind their back and say it. Go right to their face and say it. And that's what he does. And that's why I've always liked Gary. I've never had an issue with the man. Unlike Jonnie Grooms, who forces people to eat pineapple on challenges and stuff. Jonnie is, Jonnie, I'll never forgive you for that, bro. I'm sorry. I'm not going to be okay with it. Because that was your fault that night. The whole thing was all you. I'm like caviar, salty, smell a little.
Well, I will say this before y'all think I love Gary too much and I'm like, tonguing his balls or anything. He can't name beard product for shit. Let me just tell you that right now. He's got a hole in his beard product naming game, and we all know where that's going. Eric Kennedy, I will have your ass evicted if you even mouth up right now, son. I will evict you in a heartbeat, bro. Oh, that's Eric salt into the wound now. My name is Vintage Joe to Eric whenever he addresses me.
Vintage Joe.
Yep, there it is, vintage, and the laughs from Eric. I mean, there you go, Joe. But again, I loved the whole wrestling thing because it showed me a world full of wrestling nerds. I tried to show my brother it because Nick is even bigger into the wrestling world than I am these days. I'm a lot like Joe. My era was the 80s, 90s through the Attitude Era, all that stuff. As the Attitude Era wound down, and Vince started to take the reins back a little bit and not let them just cut their own promos and have their own freedom. Yeah. I started to fall out of love with it because I'm sorry. You can give me all the 5-star matches you want. It doesn't match up to The Rock grabbing the microphone and just cutting his own promo. Yeah. That's what I tuned into Raw for. Right.
Yeah.
But I'm curious, Joe, what was your first wrestling experience? What was the first match that made you a wrestling fan?
I don't even think it was a match. 83. I don't know what part. It's before the first WrestleMania. I caught a Piper's Pit. And just watching Roddy, I was transfixed because I was a big comics guy and I was also a role playing guy. Like I played role playing games, right? So seeing these guys, inhabit these roles and do their things. That's why I as much as I love the action in the ring, I'd always go for a promo guy. Right. I don't care how I love a good promo, and so it was definitely, and Roddy led me in there. And then I remember somewhere seeing the, 605 on the Superstation. I'm like, oh, there's more wrestling. Oh, and then that's when I got that NWA connection. I got into Dusty and Nikita and Flair and the Four Horsemen. And I was lost for the next 20 years.
Yeah, Gary, he is still the champ at the moment. He will defend his title actually 2 weeks. Yeah, 2 weeks from now, he'll defend his title for the first time, COVID permitting, obviously, if they still allow the match to happen. We'll see.
Yeah, yeah. And Rob Acker says Superfly Snuka. His build, seeing him come off the top rope, that was also hugely impressive.
But you know what, Joe? You're right about the promos, because if you look at the guys who have really stretched out their careers and had longer runs and survived through multiple eras of wrestling, it's been the guys who could work the microphone. It hasn't been those all-star, they're great ring workers. Yeah. It's been the guys who have had a persona, who have been able to work a microphone to sell you on their character. Yeah. I mean, Ric Flair's character in ring, his moveset didn't change over 40 years. It was the same thing every match. But you loved Rick on the mic. You loved his salesmanship, his workmanship. So therefore, Rick lasted until doctors told him he couldn't wrestle anymore, basically.
Yeah.
I think the Steamboat. Oh, okay. I mean, my mom loved the Steamboat. Just saying. My mom was a Steamboat fan.
You ever seen how Tatanka looks like now? He looks bad. He looks awful.
Tatanka, no. You know who I did see? Tito Santana actually at a recent show.
Yeah.
In Nutley, New Jersey. He was working a small promotion. And Tito got old, man. Tito, he was in the ring. He hit the ring trying to do the whole run-in and being Tito. And I was like, anybody going to tell him he's moving in slow motion? This is rough. And they were doing like a battle royal to name their number one contender. And of course, if you're paying Tito, he's going to win, right?
Right.
Because he's obviously making the most money for this show. So he wins and he calls out the champion, who hits the ring and is actually a young, in shape looking guy. And I'm like, please don't let this happen. I don't want to see Tito die in the ring. Because
yeah, it's hard. I mean, and age is a factor. You can certainly work a certain style that allows you to last longer, but those pecs are going to droop. That belly's going to get a little bigger. Yeah, it's just gravity. It's just the way it is.
That's like Taker at this point, right? Like I think it's definitely time for the Undertaker to just.
He's done.
He's got to stay away. He has to.
I don't think he's ever going to come back. I think he had a good run. Any more matches? If he has any more, he's going to get injured.
Did you say a good run?
Like
a good run. He had a legendary run. There were few runs like the Undertaker's. Okay, let's just.
Yeah.
Sorry, you're talking about my favorite there. Easy. Take it easy.
I think if he has like one more match and he gets injured again, like it's gonna be messed up for him. So he's okay as he is now. If he stops now, I don't think he'll go back now.
I wanted him to stop when he faced Lesnar. Honestly, I thought he was done.
Yeah.
Because beyond the scripted loss and all that stuff, he just didn't look good that night leaving the ring. You could tell it took a toll on him. He was done. When he came back to wrestle Roman, he looked terrible against Roman. He was so slow. His timing was so bad. I mean, the only reason he looked good against AJ Styles is because it was, it was a show match. It wasn't really an in-ring one. It was the show, the Boneyard match, so
it was like
and AJ's a smaller guy, so AJ knows how to work with him well. And for AJ Styles, it was one of the biggest moments of his career, he said, to work with The Undertaker at WrestleMania. So I'm sure he did all he could to sell it, but I love Undertaker. Please, you'll probably never see this anyways. Please don't come back. I don't want to see you anymore. Because for me, the greatest moment in wrestling will always be, and it involves one of Joe's favorites, Survivor Series, when The Undertaker makes his first appearance and Roddy Piper is on the announcer team going, look at the size of that ham hock.
Yeah.
I didn't even know what a ham hock was then, but I was like, oh, holy crap, Rowdy, you're right. Look at the size of him.
Yeah.
And that was one of the greatest, because he looked like a monster walking down to that ring.
Yeah.
He was actually scary. His eyes rolled in the back of his head. I still can't do that.
Jonnie can, of course.
Jonnie, yeah.
When you see enough people do that by your bladed hand, you get to kind of get that mimicking power.
So Jonnie, who's your favorite? Anybody?
What? Oh,
Who's your favorite
wrestler?
wrestler? Yeah,
Oh,
it's got to be somebody that's a little bit on the darker side. I got a feeling.
I'll be right back, Joe.
Okay.
No, Undertaker is my favorite wrestler.
Really?
Undertaker, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I was scared to watch Papa Shango do his things, but like I like the whole theatrics behind it. Him and Mankind, Mick
Yeah.
Foley, man. Oh man, those are like I like those dark theatrical characters. That's why I'm a huge fan of the Fiend right now.
Oh,
Like,
dude, I love
I
the Fiend.
love that.
Love the
Oh
Fiend.
my god, it's. I mean, I hope when they come back with him, they like something happens where it doesn't go too off the rails. I mean, they set him on fire. I mean, that's the last thing we saw him. He was on fire in the ring, his whole body. So, and he hasn't been seen since. So hopefully when he comes back, they make it make sense and it's not too out there.
Wait a minute. I mean, let's be honest here. It's the WWE. We have seen instances where the Undertaker has been put in a coffin and lit on fire.
Yeah,
and then the next
he was in a coffin. I mean, like they put the Fiend's body on fire.
We see lightning strikes, and then the Undertaker reappears.
Yeah.
So odds are they're going to go over the top with it, but I've seen a growing change coming. And if you watch NXT, if you watch the main WWE roster, there's a huge difference there. And for all of Vince's wanting to hold on to power, Vince has got to walk away, man. It's time.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah, wrestling. It's become more fun. I mean, the women really have they have made like their own thing, and it's really. I like to watch the women wrestle more than the men now. Some of their matches are like insane.
Women didn't wrestle when we were younger, Johnny. Not really. There were very few that did. Very few.
Yeah.
Very few. We came from that era where you had like the Miss Elizabeths, and they walked out with the wrestler.
Yeah, they were valets. They were a little more valets than anything. And
valets, managers, things like that.
And when I started watching wrestling, I was born in '83, so like that's the first. I think that was the first WrestleMania was in '83. So then, like growing up, my dad was watching, and that's what like got me into wrestling. Was my dad was watching it, and then like during commercial breaks, we would have our little like impromptu matches where I would just like throw flying elbows at him, and he would like throw me off the sofa and stuff like that. So like that's how like I equated wrestling with dad time. It was very rare to have dad time because like my dad worked full time Monday through Friday. I rarely saw him like during the week. He would come home and I'd be in bed. So like so those I think if were they Sunday mornings? I think they were Sunday mornings or Sunday afternoons where they had WWF on. I think it was like channel 11 or channel 5.
Yeah, Sunday mornings, Johnny.
And we would have those. We would have those that time. Me and my sister, we would like tag team him and stuff, and he would like have me in one hand and have her in the other hand, and like he'd get me in a leg lock while she like on top of him and stuff like that. So we would have those mornings, and that's what drew me into wrestling. And now like even my daughter, I throw my kids go to bed at 8:00. So 8:00 is when Raw starts. So by the time Raw starts, they're in bed. This past Monday, my daughter, she wanted to play the game where she didn't want to go to sleep, so she wanted to eat dinner at 8:00. So like it's this thing that she does. So so she doesn't go to sleep. It only buys her like an extra 10 minutes. I don't get it, but whatever. Anyway, so so like I'm watching Raw, and she's eating, and she's like, "Oh, who's that?" And it's Charlotte Flair's walking down the ramp. And then I said, "Oh, do you like that?" And she says, "Yeah." And then so then the match starts, and I'm like, "Okay, it's time to go to bed." And she goes, "I can't go to bed. I have to see how the match ends. I have to see how this ends." So she's like, "I want to watch the wrestling. I want to watch the wrestling with you." So I'm like, "Oh my god, of course." I said, "Here," and I put her on my lap, and we're watching it. And I was like, "Oh, look, see, she just punched her in the face." And she's like, "Yeah, that must have hurt." And I was like, "Yeah, I think it did hurt." And then my wife's like, "You got to go to bed." I'm like, "No, she's not. She can't go to bed yet. The match is not over."
And now your daughter has now found an instant way to stay up late every Monday night.
So we had this little daddy daughter moment, with wrestling, and now like she likes wrestling, so it's cool.
Yeah, I got into wrestling
Awesome.
because of my grandfather. He was, he liked to take me to the shows back then at Continental Airlines Arena. Back when they would come to your town, I think they still do it today. I'm not sure though. When they would come to your town for like a big show, be it Raw or a pay-per-view or whatever, they would actually have shows that whole week in your town that you could go to. And he would take me to those matches and stuff. And I stayed in it because my brothers and all them got into it. So I wanted to, but I remember going to like high school and wrestling was no longer cool. And that was a problem. Like that was like, you couldn't really admit you liked wrestling because you kind of got made fun of. That was a problem.
Oh, really?
Yeah. My high school, it was a problem. They thought you were like,
Yeah.
weird if you liked wrestling.
Yeah, back in the day when liking wrestling and comics made you, a target, not part of the in crowd.
Wow.
All that stuff. Because don't forget, like, in the early '90s, Raw's doing poorly. WWF is not doing well. Early to mid '90s, WCW isn't doing well. The Monday Night Wars saved both of those companies, but wrestling was on a real downhill. And then you get those two Monday night shows, and the college crowd picks up on it. And that's when it really blows up because you have all these college kids having like watching parties and stuff like that. That was huge.
And that's when it became cool to be a wrestling fan again. But there was a stretch there where it was not cool. And I mean, the comics didn't become cool until I was well out of school, dude. Well out of school. You know what I mean? If you were in the comics and stuff like that, they thought you were part of the Magic the Gathering scene and all that stuff. You were a World of Warcraft nerd and all that stuff. I'm saying these things on purpose because I know Johnny Grooms does them all. That's why I'm saying it.
Yeah. I do them all. Yeah. And?
I'm not easy, Johnny. Easy, Johnny. I wasn't saying I was just making a point how much things have changed, honestly.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Nowadays, it's like the things that you would have gotten called a nerd for when I was a kid. Nowadays, those are the cool things. Those are the hip things. I would so not have fit in with today's crowd, apparently.
I dated a girl who thought that she was Lita. She used to dress like her and everything. It was crazy.
Oh, man, really? She looked
Yeah,
like her?
good time. Yeah, good.
Did she look like her, though? That's the question.
No.
Oh, well, then what the hell was the fun?
No, but she dressed like her, so, yeah. It was cool.
But wait, did she dress like her and look like Mae Young? Because that wouldn't be cool.
No. She's all right. I don't know.
When is the next Grooms? When is the next grooming video coming out?
Who's asking that?
Vato.
Oh, I don't know. Whenever my hair grows in.
Trish Stratus was everybody's favorite, I think.
Oh, armpit waxing, huh?
Trish Stratus had a look, boy.
Let's write that down.
Yeah. If you remember back in you're too young, Joe, but you would have seen the videos. But like Wendy Richter was hot, was hot, because all the other wrestlers, they were just still a sideshow attraction, and they were trying to, capture some lightning with Wendy. And then the next one, I'm not talking Malays, I'm talking about wrestlers, would have been probably Medusa. Medusa was as far as like cute female wrestlers, and then and if you can get past the neck up, Luna Vachon, I think probably had some qualities about her that some guys would dig.
Oh God. It's so crazy that you say that because I thought that too.
Yeah,
you just got to get rid of this.
Yeah, and then once you get into that era of Trish Stratus, and that's when all the women started coming out, and it became a good time.
Yeah, the first one I remember being a big deal, like looks-wise, was Sable. She was the first one I remember everybody kind of keying on, and I never got it. I mean, besides the fact that she had a very big chest, obviously, I didn't think she was very attractive. Yeah, I didn't get it, but I guess same thing as Luna. You just knock out the face and everything's fine. But Trish Stratus was... But wasn't Trish Stratus like an underwear model or something before she came to WWF? Didn't she have like another career before WWF, I think?
Who, Sable?
No, Trish Stratus.
Yeah, I think she was a fitness model, right?
She was like a model or something before she came around. So
yeah. Like just like what's her face? Oh crap. Oh, forgot her name. She's currently on the roster. I totally forgot her name. She's paired
Mandy
with,
Rose?
No. She's paired with Mandy Rose. What the fuck's her name? Oh my god.
She's paired with Mandy Rose.
Yeah. They're
Dana Brooke?
Dana Brooke. Yeah, Dana Brooke's a fitness model. Now, was
Oh,
a fitness
really?
model? No, she was a female bodybuilder.
Oh,
Yeah.
that makes sense, actually. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not attracted to her.
She's pretty bad. I don't know.
No, she's not.
Yeah, she
No,
is.
she's not.
Oh my god.
No, absolutely not.
I don't think there's is there an ugly one on other than Bailey? Bailey has a hard face, and so does that Ruby Riot. Oh my god. Oh.
Actually, I would yeah, I guess this is every style thing. I would marry Ruby Riott if she let me. In a heartbeat, I would marry
That would
Ruby
be
Riott.
hard to face look at. Oh my god. Have you like zoomed in on her face on Instagram? Go to her Instagram, go to one of her pictures and zoom in on her face. Like just her
That's
face.
okay. That's fine.
I don't know, man.
You know who I had a thing for, and this is back in the day when having a girl with a little thickness on her wasn't as culturally accepted as it was now. Bull Nakano. Have you ever?
Bull Nakano.
She was like the Japanese heel. She did a little bit of time in WWF and stuff.
She did.
She had a mohawk that she
Yes.
moosed up really high, purple lips, and just a bigger girl. Great wrestler. But when she took all the stuff off, and I got a thing for the Asians. I call them the Mandarin Delights, and I was like, oh dang, now that woman is smoking hot.
You know what? It's funny you say it because Asuka, the wrestler
Asuka.
she
Oh,
is
I love Asuka.
very pretty. Very pretty. Without all the makeup she puts, the paint she puts on her face now, like she has a YouTube channel, and I watch her just like do stuff. All she does is just do stuff. She eats things, she builds little things, and that's it. It's just that's her doing it. And she talks in Japanese, and she has like little graphics pop up every now and then, and it's I just watch her do stuff.
Johnny can't understand a word she's saying, nothing, but he doesn't care. He's just watching.
No, she's good because she says it in Japanese and then she translates it into English. So she'll say one thing in Japanese and then say it again in English, like right after. So like you can follow along with her. She's pretty good at it. Yeah.
All right, gentlemen. You ready for
Yellow fever, says Eric. Oh Jesus.
I got yellow fever. Why does that seem like such an Eric comment? Something that Eric would just randomly throw out there for you real quick.
Oh, that is good. I needed to laugh. Yeah, Donna Long. I was waiting for someone to hit her. Someone to hit her. Oh, fuck.
My father loved Stacy Keibler. Loved her.
She had
Loved
legs
her.
for days, man. Her legs
You can have Tori Wilson and Sable both and throw in a third name. Stacy Keibler was just wow. Yeah, and I don't like blondes. I don't like blondes at all.
So was Trish your like epitome though? Like was she the hottest one you ever saw?
There's something about her because she's Greek, even though she had blonde hair. There was just something about her attitude, her athletic ability, and her look. Because she's a smaller woman, even though she's a badass. I like the petite, but I like the petite with a little build to them. You know what I mean? So a little more thick to them than just like a scrawny petite girl. So yeah, it's just something about her. Just she clicked all those switches correctly.
Yeah, I don't know. If you asked me, I don't know if I could pick one, honestly.
You know what?
Huh?
Bad and bearded. He's right. Stephanie McMahon was hot back then. She like even now she's still kind of pretty. She's kind of pretty, but like
Wait a minute. Time out. I'm sorry. Stephanie McMahon is not attractive at all because go back to when she first started on Raw.
Yeah.
Before she had all the cosmic surgeries done, all the cosmetic surgery done to make her look the way she is today. Before she got her boobs 5 times the size of her normal self,
which I hate,
and her nose fixed and everything else, she was not that attractive at all. She was maybe a C at best.
I had to check her out back then because like I remember her from the Attitude Era and like she was stacked, so I was like, damn.
Yeah, no, she wasn't stacked though. Go back to the beginning.
No,
really.
No.
I
mean, you got to go back to her first appearances. Like you got to go way back. but she was not any of those things. She has been enhanced quite a bit over the years.
Yeah.
She has been, because Stephanie was not very attractive when she first came around. Not in my opinion, at least.
You know who was smoking though for the '80s? With we talk about LAs, to me, smoking as of LA in the '80s and '90s was Dark Journey or what was her name? Woman. You know, Kristen Wiig's wife, but when she was in her prime, when Kevin Sullivan found her on the beach in Florida, and then just, you know, if you look at those mid '80s shots of Woman, oh my goodness. Oh
yes, Sam.
PWI.
Here she is.
Yes. What?
Hey, Sammy Cakes.
Love you. They're saying hi to you.
That's
I
okay.
love you.
That's okay. You don't have to have time for us or anything.
McDonald's lunch tomorrow. Let me order me McDonald's lunch.
All right. I love you too.
Oh, that's nice. She gave you a kiss.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. She still loves me at times. She has her moments. Though. I don't know if I should be worried though that she just came down to tell me she's going to bed early. She's up to something. I'll go upstairs and check on her in about 20 minutes or so. See if she actually went to bed.
You're gonna see the TV. She's gonna be under the blankets for like.
Donald, if you go back to the '50s, she had that 6 South Carolina drawl, which was really nice. If you go back to the '50s, you a little bit better. But yeah, Moolah. But in her day, based on what the accepted look for the 1950s woman was, she was probably considered a hottie in her day.
Yeah,
but she ran it all. She was the queen pin of ladies.
Did you watch the Dark Side of the Ring on her?
Oh yeah. I watched all the Dark Sides. Oh
wow,
she's horrific.
I had to check that out.
I didn't know any of that stuff really until I watched that. I didn't know any of it. And then when I watched that Dark Side of the Ring, I started doing some research on it, and I'm like, she was not a good person, huh? Wow.
No. And then when Richter wouldn't drop the title, that's how they came up with the Black Spiders or the Black Widow, whatever they called Moolah under a mask to get the belt off of Wendy. Because Wendy got a little too big for her britches. And then that was like the dark chasm because women wrestling wasn't as big as it was. And, we're talking mid 80s now in the later 80s. And you don't get any females doing anything in the ring really of note. Unless they brought the Japanese, because the women were always big in Japan. So unless they came over here and made tours, you didn't usually see American women.
Wow.
Why do you think that was, Joe? Why do you think over in Japan, the women wrestling was always a bigger thing? I mean, obviously nowadays, finally it's caught on. But why did we as an American culture not accept women wrestling for so long?
I mean, I just think, look at the WNBA. Guys don't want to watch girls play athletics to the level they want to watch guys play athletics. The guy, we're talking speed, power, athletic, dexterity, agility. All those things are going to be heightened in most men over a woman. And the only comparable sport that we have now is the NBA. And in wrestling, they've always were. And even now, look at how they're dressed. Yes, you have girls with some serious skill like Charlotte and stuff like that, but they're still dressing for to be eye candy to me at a lot of times first, and wrestlers second. And it has gotten better, but I don't know.
Oh, they're definitely meant to be eye candy still. You can't argue that because if they weren't, then they'd all come out in long pants and a longer shirt. You know what I mean? They wouldn't be showing anything.
Yeah. Yeah, Billy Rogers makes a good point too. It was a thing in Jello and oil, not just on TV. Yeah. Moolah the pimp.
Dude, Moolah was rough, man, but you got to listen. The thing that most of the promoters have said back then, though, however, is that Moolah really was just the only woman doing it. There were plenty of men doing it back then. She was just the first female to kind of do it, and that's why she gets the rap that she gets. But if she was a guy, she would have just been another one of the ones out there doing it.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, that's what a lot of them say, that if she was a guy, nobody would talk about it because all the guys back then, all the male managers back then, or whoever ran that area, that's the way they did things.
Yeah, for sure.
She was just bigger because there weren't a lot of female wrestlers. Most of them went through her, and she ran a lot of things. So whether that was good, bad, or indifferent, I don't know. One thing's for sure, she definitely made sure she made a lot of money off of those girls. A lot of money off. And some of those girls seem to love her, and other ones seem to hate her. So
Yeah.
I guess it all depends on how your run went with her, you know? Because on that dark side, there were some girls that still loved her.
Yep.
Absolutely loved her.
Yep.
All right, gentlemen. Are you ready for your random ass question round? And you got to answer one at a time here.
Okay.
All right? Don't start trying to jump over each other.
JG, you go first each time. That'll make it easy.
Okay.
Well, the first... Oh, this question doesn't work for John. All right. Fake steak or fake chicken, Johnny?
Fake chicken.
Okay. Steak or chicken, Joe?
Steak.
Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Tea.
Really? I thought Joe was a coffee drinker. Interesting.
I like.
Oh no, I hate coffee scents. That's why I don't have a lot of coffee beer scents because I don't like drinking coffee.
I don't want coffee in my beard either, but I like drinking it.
Bella is a huge coffee drinker, so you know.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
That explains why she's so like.
Totally, Johnny. Totally.
Johnny, pizza or I guess a tofu burger in your instance, or an Impossible Whopper, I guess, whatever.
You know, I've tried a lot of vegan pizzas and a lot of fake vegan meats on the pizzas. They always give you that weird, like horrible, like bloated feeling after a while. I have to go burger, vegan burger.
Okay,
Yeah.
Joe.
Pizza.
Again, whatever you're, Johnny, you're no fun on these questions. Taco or deli sub?
Oh, tacos all day.
Same thing, Joe.
Tacos, yeah, all day.
Regular
All right.
and fur.
Beer or wine?
Yes, sir. You are correct.
Beer. Yeah.
I've never seen you drink friggin' wine, so I don't know why this is even a thought process.
There is a live where I did drink wine, but
When was this?
I don't remember. Fucking had a bottle of wine. I don't remember. Because when I drink wine, you don't just drink a glass. It's a bottle because wine goes like that. So
yeah,
I don't touch the stuff, so I don't know.
Me either. I drink beer would be my answer.
Yeah,
Dude, I don't get it. I listen. The old guys at the nights, they always have their bottles, and they're sitting there. Oh, this one's a little bit fuller bodied, and this one's a little bit drier. And I'm like, they all taste like shit. I don't understand what any of you are saying. These are all disgusting. I don't get it. But that's just me.
That's good.
Whiskey or tequila?
Tequila.
Oh
Tequila.
I cannot drink tequila, so it's got to be whiskey.
no. Pepsi or Coke? You both know exactly what your answer should be here.
Pepsi for food, Coke for alcohol.
To paraphrase my stepdad, who was an old school Navy man, anyone who would drink Pepsi would suck a dick. So I'm going with Coke.
Wow. Thanks, Joe.
Hey, he said it, not me. He also had the legendary line, if women didn't be fucked, they'd be hunted for bounty. So, and I like that one too.
Wow. Okay. Cake or ice cream? Sam wants to know. She made me ask everybody.
Cake. Sorry, Johnny, you were thinking cake.
Yeah. And go cake too, yeah. Yeah, cake. Yeah.
PlayStation or Xbox?
PlayStation.
Xbox. And we do a show together.
Apple or Android?
Apple.
Apple. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Transformers or Thundercats?
Oh.
Ooh. I didn't.
This has been a tough one for a lot of people.
I was too old to really watch them, but I like the idea of a robot more, so I'm going to go Transformers.
Okay.
I watched them both. Like that G.I. Joe and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Shit. And He-Man. I had to go Transformers. Transformers was just that much cooler.
Yeah.
No, I mean I like Chitara, but I'm just saying Transformers. Yeah,
I'll just block the movies out and think of the animation on the cartoon.
yeah.
Yeah. Battleship or Monopoly?
Ooh.
You know what? No one ever played Battleship with me, but they played Monopoly with me, so I have to go Battleship.
This has an asterisk, Joe. Battleship if you want the quick game, but Monopoly sucks if people don't trade. And my wife won't trade ever. She never trades. So I do like the strategy of Monopoly, but I got to go Battleship.
Yeah. Monopoly for me if we have more than 4 people, honestly.
Yeah.
If there's only like 2 of us, I'm like, no, I'm not sitting here playing this damn game all.
Yeah.
We'll be here for 10 hours playing this frigging game. I'm not doing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if there's 5 or 6 of us, fine. Let's play Monopoly.
Yeah.
Only 2 of us, Battleship's right there, dude. Let's play Battleship. Yeah, Battleship. Sooner or later, you got to find my damn ships. It can't take that long. Favorite candy?
Chocolate or non-chocolate? I mean, is there any?
Doesn't
Whatever.
matter.
The,
Okay.
here. Favorite candy? Yeah, Joe, you go first. I gotta think.
Reese's peanut butter cups.
I'll go Sour Patch Kids.
Joe, I'm with you, by the way. Reese's peanut butter cups. We're right there, sir.
I agree with Rob, by the way, on that too.
Man with fur.
Yeah. Too
Favorite
close.
cereal?
Oh man. Oh, mine is definitely Fruity Pebbles. Favorite cereal.
I hate to be boring, but Wheaties. I dig me some Wheaties.
Really?
Yeah.
I have never actually met anybody who likes Wheaties.
Do you put anything on the Wheaties?
A little
Or
bit
you
of
just-
sugar. That's just a little bit of sugar.
Okay.
I mean, I eat frosted mini wheats. I guess that's similar, kind of. That's my favorite.
That's too sugary. I just want a little bit. Frosted mini wheats or frosted shredded wheat.
All right. I mean, that's kind of an old man choice, but you're good. Better show, Sopranos or Game of Thrones?
Oh fuck.
Sopranos.
Yeah, Sopranos.
There you go. That's good job, boys.
Did you know
Good
that you know
job.
what they're doing in Sopranos? There's a sequel going on.
Yeah, I know. There's going to be a prequel movie coming out.
Yeah. So did you see the trailer? The trailer's out.
I saw the trailer and I saw them filming 2 months ago.
Nice.
Are they digging up James Gandolfini from his grave, or how are they
No,
going
they're
to
using his
It's a
son.
prequel. It's about his dad and Anthony Soprano when he was a kid.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
And Gandolfini's son plays Tony Soprano.
Yep.
He's very young Tony Soprano. Yeah.
I hope he does as good a job as Ice Cube's son did in Straight Outta Compton.
Oh
Yeah. Oh, that kid nailed it. I mean, it helps that he looks just like his dad, too. That
Exactly.
helps. That helps things, but still, he really did nail that friggin' role. Like, absolutely killed that one. Favorite horror movie, guys?
Joe knows this because we do our beards on
Oh,
film.
I'm a huge Jason fan, so Friday 13th is my favorite horror movie series. Yeah.
I still need you to answer the question, Joe.
Exorcist. The Exorcist.
I know, I remember, but
I know. Great horror movie.
who wins in a fight, Superman or Thor?
Superman.
Okay. I hate to be comic geeky here, but Thor is a god. Thor's powers could be interpreted to come from magic. Superman is weak to magic, which is why Shazam always kicks his ass. So, depending on the writer, Thor should win that fight if he's interpreted as having magic. Also, which version of Superman? If you're going with the most ultimate, toughest version of Superman, Superman wins unless Thor has magic. So I'm going to go Superman, but there's lots of asterisks there.
Yeah. See,
actually, if you think about it, yeah. Because if you go, no, that's Superboy Prime. Superman Prime doesn't have weaknesses of Superman because he's not from Krypton, so he doesn't have weaknesses to kryptonite, magic,
Red Sun, all that
like,
jazz. Yep.
I gotta
like
say, it is so
unstoppable.
much fun having 2 comic nerds on my channel right now who are actually taking this question as seriously as humanly possible at the moment.
Well, if you're gonna, that's
It's an
like
important question.
yeah, that's why versus discussions could go on for a while because you could just
Rather than just 2 guys who have
Hand
watched the
facts.
movies and have been like, "Oh yeah, I like Thor movies better," so Thor, like 2 comic fans who are really just sat here like, "Shit, man, he's got a good question. Like, which versions are we talking about here?"
You got to analyze.
Like, favorite actors.
oh
Fuck me running.
God, favorite actors.
Mm.
Huh.
This one always
many-
takes a while.
How
Jim
many you
Carrey-
want, Joe?
Jim Carrey's up there.
Okay.
You just give me your top. Just give me your favorite. Whoever your favorite is right now.
I'll just spit out the first few names that come to mind. Jim Carrey, Jack Nicholson, Robert De Niro, Al Pacino, Joe Pesci. There you go.
He likes the wops.
Joe,
Daniel Day-Lewis, and
I knew that was going to be one.
and as an up and comer, as you and I would have discussed, had YouTube not had any balls, Walton Goggins is definitely a rising star for me. Yeah,
Absolutely. But YouTube sucks. So
They do suck.
that ended that one.
yeah.
Favorite actress?
I don't know. I don't.
You can base it off looks if you want, Johnny.
Yeah, Joe, you go first. I hadn't really thought about that.
15 nominations or whatever the hell she has can't be wrong. Meryl Streep.
There you go. Very good.
I don't know. I don't think I really have a favorite. It's not like there's not like a time where like I see an actress in a movie and I'm like, oh, I got to see that movie because she's in it. I don't know. I don't have that.
It's rare. It is rare.
Nike or Reebok? Since Johnny's never going to answer that last question.
Nike. I'll go Nike.
Yeah, there's a reason we overthrew the British 200 plus years ago. Nike. Fucking Reebok.
How dare you on this soil, on this mess.
Oh man, Goodfellas or Godfather?
You know what? Goodfellas was my first ever cinematic experience in the movie theater, so I have to say Goodfellas.
As great as Godfather is, it has, I think, more subtleties than Goodfellas does. And Martin Scorsese is one of my favorite directors, so I'm going Goodfellas.
There you go. I love them both, but I think Goodfellas, I think it just edges it out a little bit. It could have even been because of the time they were both made as well.
Yeah.
Differences in times and things like that. But
you know what it's like being a kid watching someone get stabbed in the trunk like that? First movie I ever saw in my life in the theater was Goodfellas. It was crazy. That's it. That set me off like that. That set me down the path of my life.
Johnny, did you say you saw The Irishman?
I saw it, but I don't remember a lot of it because it was really long and I had to stop watching it to tend to the kids and shit. I have to sit down and really
Yeah, I'm in the same spot, Johnny. I got to sit down and actually watch it.
I had to get up a few times and I have to rewatch.
Because it's got all three of your boys there, De Niro.
Yeah, no, that's why I want to watch it. Yeah, that's.
I was about to say Johnny's favorite list. They're pretty much all in that movie. So yeah. So favorite cartoon, guys, whatever the hell it might be, from whatever reasons.
Right now, my favorite cartoon is
God damn.
Right now, it's Attack on Titans. That's my favorite cartoon right now.
Classic Warner Brothers Bugs Bunny from the 50s. Current day Archer.
There you go. All right. Who wins in a fight, Freddy or Jason?
Ooh.
Johnny's going to say Jason, obviously.
Jason won already. He won that fight.
He didn't win. He didn't win.
Fight.
Horse shit. He didn't win. That was bullshit. He had the kids helping him and everything else. Please. He needed a handicap to get it done.
Look, you pull Mr. Sandman out of his dreams, he fucked. There's no way. Freddy
Time out. Were you watching the same movie? Because I saw Freddy giving Jason the business with actual fighting skills.
Yeah, okay, yeah. He got him a couple of times. But at the end of the day, you can't stop Jason. He's way stronger than Freddy. In real life. In a real life fight, not in a dream world fight, because the dream world fight is not fair because that's Freddy's universe. He's basically God in that universe. So
it's not fair to take Freddy into the real world then, where Jason's basically God. How's that?
Playing field, there's no supernatural shit going on. It goes down to brute strength and durability. Jason has all of that. So Freddy, No chance.
Because we've seen Jason get in a boxing ring and go 12 rounds before, right? We know how durable he is.
The last guy trying to box Jason got his head punched off, got thrown off the top of a roof.
That was his own fault, by the way. That was his own fault. Who squares up with Jason and says, "Let's go"?
Joe? You ever seen that one?
No.
Oh my god, it's hysterical. The guy's on the roof with Jason, and he's hitting him. He's hitting him so hard, his knuckles start to bleed because he's basically punching someone with a hockey mask. Which,
right?
I don't know why would you try to punch somebody wearing a hockey mask? Because it's a hockey mask. It's made to withstand the force of a puck coming at you in a hockey rink. Your human punch force is not going to be as hard as that hockey puck coming at you at like 80 miles an hour. So you think like, hey, maybe this is not a good idea to punch a man with a hockey mask on. But no, the guy goes for it anyway. And then all of a sudden, Jason's like, and then the guy's head comes clean off his body. It's hysterical.
Yeah. Like a rock'em sock'em robot. Just like,
one of the best kills ever.
Oh, that's awesome.
Basically, that was it. Yeah. That was the whole scene, actually. Like that. Jonnie just described it perfectly. Down to the T. Joe, did you answer? I don't remember. Did you think Jason wins as well?
I mean, I could go into a whole thing about what is wins when one of them never is going to die because he lives in dreams. But so I guess I would go with Freddy.
See? There you go, Jonnie. Shut up. No. Take that one.
You guys are the horror geeks. I have no dog in this hunt.
Oh, King Kong or Godzilla?
Oh, shit. Okay, all right.
Godzilla.
Yeah. Godzilla spits nuclear fucking fire, and King Kong is made of fur. The idea that they could ever have, but I'll tell you what, I've seen the trailer for that new one, and I am psyched to see that. It looks like it's going to be really well written, and they've got a good idea for why these two would even be connected. The CGI looks really, really good. But Godzilla,
I'm pumped.
Me too.
I don't understand how people are like, oh yeah, King Kong has a chance. No, all it takes is one tail whip, right, to Godzilla's body. He's got crack ribs. When Godzilla tries to get, King Kong has got crack ribs immediately. As soon as that one tail, so then as soon as Godzilla walk on him, look down at King Kong and just to death. And
they're basing. So most people that are basing their argument that Kong can win, it's because they're saying Kong is smarter, he can problem solve, and because he's actually has fighting skills and capabilities.
Interesting
Where
argument.
Godzilla is just a very powerful being, basically. Kong actually problem solves, sees things, he can use weapons, things like that.
Yeah. By the way, for any Godzilla fans in the chat who don't know, HBO Max has so much more than the regular HBO. But they have over a dozen Godzilla movies on there right now. Wow. So I've been going back and including
I'm a huge Godzilla fan.
Me too.
Huge Godzilla fan. My grandfather got me started when I was a kid, buying me all the VHSs. And to this day, I still have the original Kong versus Godzilla on VHS and DVD. Have them both. Thank you very much. Yes, I'm a nerd, and I accept that with pride. Thank you.
Yeah, I used to love those Godzilla movies. But they're also saying like the Godzilla that he's fighting is Mecha Godzilla. So when he comes down with that axe, right, that you see in the trailer, they're saying that at that moment when he brings that axe down is when you're gonna see the skin get cut off of Godzilla, and it's gonna be Mecha Godzilla underneath.
Those are the rumors going around.
Yeah,
that would suck so bad.
And then like
the rumors. There's rumors. There's rumors that essentially they're not showing us the beginning of the film, where Monarch takes Godzilla out of the picture somehow, and replaces him with Mecha Godzilla to draw Kong out.
No way. That would suck. That would suck as bad as if you took two iconic comic characters, threw them in a fight, and then one of them said, "Your mom's named Martha too," and that ended the fight. It would suck to that level. But no one would ever really do that in a movie, would they? Come on.
Why did you say that name? Why did you say that name?
Joe, you don't even know how upsetting that was for me, because that was the first Superman movie we got in how long, Man of Steel, that was actually semi-good.
Yeah.
So my hopes were up, and I'm like, oh no, they're rushing it. Why are they doing Batman versus Superman already? Why are we doing this?
Yeah.
Why are we rushing it? And then they square them off, and it's Martha, and that ends the whole thing. That's it. And now they're best friends because they both had a mom with the same last name.
Yeah.
With the same name.
You have the founder of Facebook as the Joker, even though he's supposed to be Lex Luthor. I mean, it's just so many problems with that. Oh, and let's just throw the ultimate badass for Superman. Let's just arbitrarily toss his ass in there too at Doomsday. It's just
that was a wasted moment.
That was such a waste. First of all, I want to know in their minds, right, in their brains, how you go from Doomsday getting beaten by Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman to then the Justice League as a whole facing off with some character nobody's ever even friggin' heard of before. Wouldn't it have made more sense to do this the other way around somehow?
Totally.
You know what I mean? Like, come on now.
The Snyder cut is going to be coming out.
Are they going to change the bad guy? Are they going to change?
No, it's still going to be Steppenwolf, but
are they going to change the horrible Flash? Are they going to fix that? No.
Stupid. By the way, I told Jonnie to do this like 8,000 months ago, and I even gave him money to sign up to DC Universe so he'd do it. Joe, have you watched Stargirl?
No.
The Arrow, Flash, Legends of the whatever they are, Supergirl. This is the best series of the lot. Stargirl, man, they did this right, and that's because Jeff Johns, who invented this Stargirl and who made Flash and Green Lantern, who gave them resurrections, he was on board with their creation. It is so good. High school angsty. It's like Archie, and it's like superheroes, and then you've got the bad guy, which is a big group, and these kids come together and kind of form the new Justice Society. So good. And I think it's on HBO Max. I think.
Interesting. So would you be a bigger DC fan than a Marvel fan? Because that was my next question.
No.
You're a bigger Marvel fan?
Definitely a bigger Marvel fan, for sure.
I'm actually more of a DC guy, honestly, which is why the movies disappoint me so bad. So bad. Because I love the comics. I've always been a huge Batman fan. Always been a huge Superman fan. And the movies have just been the biggest letdown. And it's so sad, too, because in all reality, right, DC had a way head start on Marvel here. You had successful Batman films and successful Superman films long before Marvel did anything.
Right.
And they've just completely destroyed it every turn.
And their animation, when Bruce Timm's in charge of it,
that's amazing.
The JLA, the Batman, the Superman, all that late 80s, early 90s, whenever the hell it was stuff. Yeah, that's so good. It's so gripping. Yeah. All that Bruce Timm stuff is awesome. And they can't put out a decent movie.
I know.
Come on.
The animated movies are with DC are amazing. They're
those are all on HBO Max too. They've got a ton of them out there. Oh,
and they're all good. They're all good, but they cannot put up one on the big screen. And I think part of the problem is they're rushing to try and catch up with Marvel at every turn, when they should just build the groundwork and do it the right way, rather than trying to catch Marvel, because Marvel's light years ahead right now.
Right.
You know what I mean? So they just got to slow down. MMA or boxing?
Please.
MMA.
All day long.
Nobody likes boxing anymore. It's horrible.
I like boxing, but MMA is that much more violent.
Yeah, I know, Johnny. We know. We got it. We get it. Favorite TV show from the 90s. I'm sorry. Favorite TV show from the 90s. I actually wrote that down too.
From the 90s. I wasn't watching TV in the 90s.
Yeah, I was like, no, I wasn't watching TV. I don't remember. I don't.
Literally, Joe, when MASH went off the air in the mid 80s, I just quit watching network TV, and
mine is simple. I was a Seinfeld fan.
I never got into Seinfeld.
Really? I love Seinfeld.
I love Curb Your Enthusiasm, though. I love that show.
You know why I don't have an answer for that? Because I went a couple years where I wasn't allowed to watch TV because my parents and
Notice how he says "cause his parents." He doesn't want to say any of the things he did wrong that didn't allow him to watch TV.
Who punishes their kid for an entire year plus?
Oh, that's
off of one incident.
I mean, what'd you do?
I didn't burn down an orphanage or anything.
You got punished for a year plus?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean,
I
it does
forgot what I
sound kind
did
of
to
rough.
do it. I
It
forgot
does
what I
sound
did.
kind of rough.
So like it was for an entire year or greater. I don't know. It was like you go to school, come home, right to the table, do the homework, then study till dinner, eat, and then go take a shower and go to sleep. It was like that for like a year straight.
Johnny, go burn the orphanage down. I absolve you now. You have a burnt down orphanage in your system, and I won't blame you.
I forgot what I did that was that bad. I know I didn't kill anybody, and I know I didn't like.
I would ask Johnny that if you decide to burn down an orphanage, you wait till after you're on therapy next time and Joe tells you again. That way I'm not an accessory after the fact or beforehand.
I'm not doing anything like that. I'm just saying, like, I use that as an example. It's like a really horrible, act.
Yeah.
I didn't do anything that bad to like deserve that kind of punishment.
That's wild.
I had to read the encyclopedia, so it was like as soon as I finished my homework, it was like start with A and start reading the encyclopedia, and then I had to write down the pages, to take up the time of the hours in the evening. I had to write down what I read, and that was it. You would figure I'd be a fucking genius, right? No. It didn't retain because it was all punishment.
Yeah, it was all forced upon you.
So
It wasn't.
Yeah.
I just did it just to get the hell out of there. And
That's right.
Why do you think I can't fix up my house all that well or make home improvements? Why? Because when our father used to punish us, he used to make us sit downstairs. We couldn't go up to our room. See, our room, he knew. If you punish your kid to their room, they got their TV in there, their PlayStations in there. That's not a punishment. He used to ground us to the first floor, and you got stuck watching Bob Vila for 8 hours straight. None of that shit retained because I didn't want to watch the damn show.
Oh, Bob Vila.
All right. Couple questions left here. Who wins in a fight, Arnold or Stallone?
Fuck Stallone.
like
Arnold.
in a real fight, like a
Yeah.
real
Yeah,
wait, like right now, like if they went right now
in their prime.
in their prime, Arnold would take Stallone in his prime. Yeah,
Doesn't he have like a good 4 or 5 inches on him in height alone?
he's pretty big. Like Arnold,
Yeah, I
Stallone's
think
a
he's a
short,
pretty
tiny
big dude.
man. Yeah.
Stallone's a short guy.
Bruce Lee or Chuck Norris?
Oh, all day long, Bruce Lee.
Yeah, I would say Bruce Lee.
Be like water,
Stevens-
motherfuckers.
Steven Seagal or Jean-Claude Van Damme?
Seagal, because he really knows how to fight. Van Damme is all show.
Seagal is 10 pounds of shit in a 5-pound bag. If you've seen him at all recently, even if Van Damme is a dancer posing as a martial artist, at least he gave us a pretty cool wrestler as a result. So I'm going with Jean-Claude. I cannot stand
You
Steven
can
Seagal.
attribute Rob Van Dam to John Claude all the way. He said it.
Yeah. Yep.
He mimicked himself after John Claude Van Dam.
Yep.
So
Even
Joe
if-
makes a great point here. I want to know. My only thing is this. I know we've seen supposedly Seagal can really do these things, right?
Yeah,
But I have a very hard time believing that if somebody came at him, fist of fury blazing, that he could simply step to the side, move his hands like that, and break their arm in 3 places. Sorry, just saying.
all right, when you see him, test him.
I'm not a martial artist.
We'll come at him like crazy and see what happens.
Johnny takes these
Here
things so
lies Joe.
personally.
Here lies Joe. Thought he could step to Seagal.
He can't even tie his own shoe right now. He's so out of shape. Forget it. I'd step to his ass. It'd be like 2 elephant walruses fighting on the beach.
Oh shit!
Oh man, that's not okay. All right, last few questions. Any place you can visit before you die? Where'd you want to go?
I want to do the overwater bungalows at Bora Bora. That's what I want.
That's a good call. That's a damn
Nice
good
one,
call.
Johnny. Yeah, that was a good one, dude. Most people are like, "Oh yeah, I'd like to go, like Italy," or they never have anything specific. That was nice.
It's on the brain constantly. I think about it like at least maybe once or twice a day. Like if I could just be there right now. Like,
I want to go because I don't fly. I don't like flying. So if I know I'm going to die, I want a month in each country of the United Kingdom. see castles and all that kind of cool stuff.
yeah.
You know,
Very cool.
I love Wales, Scotland, Ireland, all that jazz. So I guess Ireland's not a kingdom. I'll go to Ireland too.
Okay. If you could hang out with any historical figure, who would it be?
Historical figure.
Man, so many ways to go here.
I don't know.
All right, how about this? If you could hang out with any figure from history in a bar for 20 minutes, who would it be?
That doesn't make it any easier. That's where I imagine us hanging out. I'm like, who would I want to drink a beer with?
I don't.
I'm just going to go with a pat answer for me, and that's the Chilean poet Pablo Neruda.
Okay. Johnny's still really.
I don't know.
It worries me what's going through Johnny's head right now, though. Like, like, would I want to sit down with Ted Bundy? What would it be like to talk to Ted about what it was like to cut up these women and things like that?
No. Nobody crazy like that. I don't want.
Johnny has already watched that Night Stalker series on Netflix 5 times. So I just let you guys all know that. It just came out a few weeks ago. You want to talk about a guy, though, that was scary as that dude.
Any legitimate pirate. That would probably be Nick's answer, too.
Legitimate pirate. I don't know. I don't have an answer for that one. That's weird. I never thought I would.
That's a good one, Clint.
It's a good question, yeah. Because I have no idea who I would want to hang out with from history. I don't really want to really hang out with anyone, really.
Sounds like fuck all of you and your accomplishments.
I don't care what you accomplished.
I'm like, okay, all right.
You're all dead for a reason.
All right, my last two famous questions. I don't really have to ask you guys because I know you don't want pineapple on your friggin' pizza. And Johnny doesn't like steaks cooked in any way, shape, or form. So that's kind of a waste of time. And I believe Joe's a medium rare guy.
I mean, when I was eating steaks, I'd ordered a medium.
Joe, what are you? You a well done guy?
I am a well done guy.
Oh, Joe, a man after my own heart. See?
Well done.
That's why me and Joe get along so well. Why we do so many things together. See, this is what happens.
And I got a quarter eye tie in me too, there, Joe.
There you go. See, I'm telling you, it's my father's fault that I don't eat anything even remotely close to what they would consider rare because that man ate things that were still alive. I swear to God. There were times when things hit his plate that I was like, Dad, it's not cooked. He's like, oh, it's amazing. I'm like, no, it's not. That's not cooked. They gave you a raw piece of meat. That's not cooked.
No way. I'd go vegan. Yes, Eric, it is so. Sorry to say. I am a heathen, a meat heathen.
When I was eating steaks, it was medium. That was it. That's how I got them every time, medium.
My wife is actually back. Go ahead, Johnny.
I'm done.
No. Joe asked you how long ago was that you were eating when you were eating steak?
How long ago was that? Maybe a little bit. Now it's a little bit more than a year. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
It's very recent. Like I like the flip over to like not eating meat. It's very recent. It hasn't been 2 years yet. You know.
You're actually wrong, Gary. We were on for like 4 hours last week. I'm about to wrap this one up. But we were
2 hours, Gary. Not even 2 hours.
Yeah, last week we were on for 4 hours. I'm about to wrap this one up in a minute before Johnny yells at me because I have to get off. So I'm going to get off before that comes up. Because it's my channel, and I can wrap it up when I want, Johnny Grooms.
Hey.
All right. Actually, I want to thank you both for coming on, guys. You know how much I like hanging out, which is Johnny Grooms. Anything going on special we need to know about? Actually, Johnny will be back on my channel tomorrow night.
Yeah.
There you go.
Well, tomorrow I got reviewers table.
Yep.
But as far as like what I'm doing on my own channel, I'm gonna revisit the Skull Shaver and do a wet shave with the Skull Shaver. that's the next thing. I got a review for Captain Stash that I'm working on, and there's going to be a massive nose wax pulling event.
Oh, I've heard about this. I've
That's
heard
gonna
about
take place
this.
on my channel. I just had
Another thing I got friggin' bullied into.
I'm gonna enjoy that.
I gotta pick the day and the time that coordinates with everybody because it's gonna be a 10. I think it's gonna be a 10. Is it a 10-man or a 6-man? I don't know. Remember?
I know there's at least 5 of us that have said yes to it.
Yeah,
that much I know.
There's a lot of people involved. So,
hey Johnny, if you need to do that on a therapy, because I know not a lot of the people in that have Wednesday nights committed, that's fine by me. Just letting you know.
Okay. Still want to do it on my channel though.
Modi.
Oh, you want to? Oh, I didn't know you had a plan for your channel. Oh yeah, well by all means. We could cancel therapy that week, Johnny, if you needed to do a Wednesday.
We'll just cancel a reviewers table one Friday. That's all.
Oh, that's true. You all are in one place on one of those too.
Well, most of the guys that are talking about doing it are on the table anyways.
Yeah.
So we would just move the table that week. That's all.
Oh, yeah. See, this is the things we have to talk about. Like but that's coming. That's the thing that's coming because everybody has their kits. Everybody has their Kanashi kits.
Just so everyone knows this, when you're watching that on whenever we do it, I have never trimmed or waxed or anything my nose hairs. So, yeah, ow. This is not going to be fun.
I got one right over here. It's growing out of it. You can't see it, but it's growing out, and I'm leaving it purposely.
Nice.
I'm not trimming it up. I'm not doing. I'm going to let this all grow out. The wife's
Joe.
Yeah.
Joe, we're going to move on from Johnny now because he's talking about how his nose hairs are growing out. Joe, anything good going on?
Every 3 to 4 days, a new episode of True Detective. 2 Tuesdays a month, United Beards of America. The other 2 Tuesdays, Snack the World, and of course, we got 2 Cups of Joe whenever we release those.
Yeah, we'll be back.
We'll be back.
Damn YouTube.
We were gonna do Hateful Eight, but we couldn't. So now we're gonna do 25th Hour by Spike Lee.
Yeah. Because YouTube sucks.
Hateful Eight. You'll be doing videos for like the next 20 years.
No, well, it would have been 12
long.
We were doing the 3-hour version. It would have been 12. I actually encountered my first "fuck you, dude. You cannot show this at all." For like someone fought back against my my challenge. They're like, "Nope, you don't get to show it." Oh. And it was if it was a monetization issue, but they're like, "You will not show this in the United States." I'm like, "Well, then we can't do it now, can we?"
That happened to me. I did a video. I had a clip that was a little too long of an anime, and it was like blocked in all countries. I was like, damn. Yeah. And it was by the company itself. It was like the company Shueisha that owns Dragon Ball Z. They were like, nope. I was like, wow, I got an email from them. They were like, yeah, your video's down. It was like, all right. So excited. They said it.
All right. Yeah. On my channel, there's the usual, man. Videos are coming out, stuff like that. And then next week's episode of Meet Your Maker, there's something in here that I can't open yet. And it's got something to do with that Thursday. You'll find out soon, I promise you. But there's something in this package, and I promise you it's something you want to know about. But I can't talk about it yet. You'll have to wait and find out next Thursday. I don't know what else to tell you. But yeah, so next Thursday is going to be a big deal on my channel, actually. Once I can, the advertisements will be out there like crazy, and I will let everyone know. But as of right now, it's just a secret thing. You'll find out next Thursday, boys.
Sweet.
And Johnny, Joe, again, thank you guys for coming on. Thank you to anyone who's been here at any point throughout the night. I appreciate every one of you guys spending any time with me on a Thursday. And look, how's your mom? She's doing better, a little bit better, little steps, very small ones, but she's okay right now. Guys, be good. Johnny, Joe, thank you again. And I will see you all tomorrow night here, basically, again, for the Reviewers Table. Johnny, I'll see you tomorrow.
Bye, y'all. Thanks for stopping by.